Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Murphy and I'm a PhD student at Auburn University. And today I'll be sharing with you the differences between aquatic and land turtles. And I brought with me a couple animals. This is an aquatic turtle. Now there are a couple differences between aquatic and land turtles. And I don't know if you can see her little feet. She has them tucked into her shell really nice. But you can see her little feet here have webbing between them, almost like a duck. And if she'll stick them out for us, she's a little scared. We're in a new room. But she uses those awesome feet for swimming, just like a duck would. Now, if I take out my other friend here, all right, and I've also brought with me a land turtle. This is an ornate box turtle. And you can see she has her feet out all really nice here. She has really stubby little feet with really cute little claws on there, little toes. And she uses those cute little feet for digging into the soil. Now, if we look at both of our friends here, on the right, or your left, we have our land turtle. And over here, we have our aquatic turtle. Now look at some of their differences. Look at their feet specifically. You can see that this one has a lot more ridges and is a lot more dry. So if you see a turtle that looks like this in the wild, make sure you don't put them back into the water because they want to stay on land. And over here, you can see she has really beautiful little claws, and if she would stick her feet out, you would see that really cute little webbing for swimming. Now, if you were to find one of these turtles on land, you could put her back in the water or near a body of water. And those are the differences between aquatic and land turtles. So the top of a turtle shell is called the carapace, and the bottom part is called the plastron. Now you can see her shell is very smooth and has been worn away over time, so I would guess she's a pretty old turtle. But on some of the younger turtles, they'll have rings, and you can kind of see it here on the top of her shell. Little rings or little edges around her scutes, just like a tree stump. And that's how scientists are able to tell how old a turtle is. They can count the number of rings, specifically on the bottom here, and tell how old a turtle is, which is really, really cool. So this is our ornate box turtle. And like I said earlier, she's a land turtle. So she loves burrowing into the ground and digging these really cute little burrows. Now, one of the cool things about ornate box turtles is that they have a hinge on their shell. So if we were to flip her over here, you can see she has a hinge right here and one somewhat down here. So if a predator, like a coyote or a skunk, were to make her feel threatened or feel unsafe, she would close up into her little shell and hide away from those predators. And you can see she loves being outside this shell though, so she doesn't feel threatened at all. Another cool thing, and maybe we can see it better on this turtle rather than the aquatic one, is that she has these really beautiful little rings on the top of her shell here. And that's how scientists are able to tell how old a turtle is. They can count the rings on the shell, just like you would on a tree, a cut down tree, and age the turtle based on the number of rings. So if this turtle was in the wild and was caught by a scientist, they could look at her shell and approximately guess how old she was, which is really cool. Another thing about these guys is that this is a female, and I know because the males have these beautiful bright red eyes, and she's got really beautiful kind of brownish eyes. The males also have a lot of beautiful red coloring around the fronts of their arms, and yeah, she's a beautiful little female. So I have with me here the ornate box turtle we talked about earlier, and a beautiful little axolotl here in this tank. Now, what do you think is the main difference between the turtle and the axolotl? So one of the main difference is that the turtle is a reptile, while this beautiful little axolotl is an amphibian. Now, the main difference between reptiles and amphibians is their skin. So you can see how this turtle has really rough, dry, kind of cracked, thick skin. While amphibians have really wet and what's called permeable skin. So that means that water and air can pass through easily in their skin, unlike reptiles. So if we were to find something like a frog or a salamander somewhere in the wild, those are amphibians too. And it's really important that if you were to pick up an amphibian, such as a frog or a salamander, you wash your hands, because the chemicals or oils on your hands can hurt the amphibian as well. So this axolotl here, you can see she's got some beautiful little external gills here, and she's got these cute little toes and a really cute little tail. And she's one of our amphibians here at the university. So we just finished talking about the differences between aquatic and land turtles and some of the characteristics of turtles. And I have with me here a couple beautiful snakes, and this is a corn snake. And you can see that they call them corn snakes because if we look on their belly here, her really beautiful pattern looks almost like Indian corn or maize. Now these snakes are very important to farmers. They're important because they keep rodent populations under control and out of grain bins. And she is, you can see she's holding onto my arm really tight here and really constricting her body. Now snakes' muscles are so strong. And you can also see that she's really trying to wrap her body around me at all parts, because snakes, unlike people, are ectotherms. Now, do you know what ectotherm means? An ectotherm is an animal that relies on the environment for warmth. So unlike people, if we were to put her outside, especially at this temperature right now in Alabama, where it's kind of cold, she would not be able to reheat herself. She would get really, really cold and probably not survive. So to get warmth, she would go out into the sun or lay on a really hot piece of pavement and warm herself up. Now you can see that she's sticking her tongue out here. Can you see that? Can you see her sticking her tongue out? She's moving around all places. Let's put her on the table. Maybe we'll get a better view. You see that little tongue? Do you know what she's doing? She's smelling the air. She's looking for things to eat with her tongue. So snakes are very special in that they can smell with their tongue, and you can see how it's forked. Now that's very important because it gives the snake direction in which way their prey or their food item would be. So if they smell something really good on this side of their tongue, they know to go that way. And the same thing with the other side of the tongue. So we can say thank you to our beautiful little corn snake here. She did an excellent job, and we're going to put her back in her box. So the second snake I've brought with me today is an eastern indigo snake. Now these guys are found here in Alabama, and they're actually an endangered species because of habitat destruction. So you can find these guys in preferably longleaf pine forests, which is part of the problem that we can't find them as much anymore, is because a lot of logging and a lot of people cutting down trees destroy their habitat. Now, she's wrapped herself around me very well right here, and she's this beautiful, I hope you guys can see it, she's this beautiful purple color. Put her here on the table, maybe she'll come around. And she's actually one of the longest snakes, or is the longest snake in the United States. So she's about, I'd say maybe 5 to 6 feet long. And she's a really, really strong snake. We were bringing her up here upstairs. She's very heavy. She probably weighs about maybe 15 to 20 pounds. Now these indigo snakes are really special because unlike some other snakes, they can eat venomous snakes. So things like rattlesnakes or other snakes that would have fangs and inject venom. These guys are special because they can actually eat them, unlike some other snakes. And she's really beautiful and really strong. And she's got this beautiful, beautiful long tongue here. I talked about how some of the snakes can smell the air. Snakes smell the air. She's sticking it out here with us really nice here today. That sounds perfect. So another really interesting fact about these indigo snakes is that they use gopher tortoise burrows to live in. Now, we talked about some of the differences between aquatic and land turtles. Do you think gopher tortoise, if they're digging burrows, lives on land or water? So gopher tortoises build these really cool burrows on land that make habitats for other organisms, other animals. And one of those animals is this beautiful long snake here. So as an ecosystem, or as a system that has many animals and many different parts to it. Each animal kind of relies on one another. And this snake relies on the gopher tortoise to build their homes and burrows. So that's why it's really important that all animals are respected and protected in the wild. She's posing for the camera here. Really beautiful snake. All right, we've talked about the differences between aquatic and land turtles, some characteristics of turtles, a couple really beautiful snakes here, talked about the characteristics of snakes and the difference between amphibians and reptiles. So from my beautiful animals here with me today, I want to thank you for listening to us, and I hope you guys have a safe and healthy rest of your day. Say goodbye, Indigo. Bye.